day. How you going? What do you know? We'll strike a light. Good day, and how you going? Just say good day, and you'll be right.
Well, g'day and welcome to Australian English with Jason. I don't know what I'm going to be teaching you today. I know that I need to teach you something, but I don't have any ideas for teaching you. So I'll teach you about how hard it is to get ideas. It's very frustrating. A frustration is things which don't go how you want them to go, or things which don't give you what you expect or what you want or what you need. When things are just working against you and everything is going wrong for you, that's called a frustration. Finding ideas is frustrating. This situation is frustrating. Knowing what to teach you is frustrating. And I'm getting frustrated. That's how I feel about it. Frustrated. But I still need to give you a lesson about something. Otherwise, you'll get bored. If there is no English lesson, you get bored. That's how it makes you feel. Having nothing to learn is boring. Because learning English is exciting. It makes you excited. English classes are interesting. You are very interested in English. At least I hope you are. So, when it's ED at the end, we are saying how something makes you feel. When it's ING at the end, we're describing the thing itself. Last night, I was up all night trying to think of something to teach you today. Today, I needed some coffee. I didn't have any money. That was the frustration. That was what kept me from getting what I wanted or needed. I fell asleep. All of these really are part of the same thought, which means they should really be all in the one sentence. Because falling asleep really is the result of not having coffee. Not having coffee was the cause of falling asleep, but in a way so was not having any money. So let's try to put them in one sentence, because remember, that's what I said a sentence is, a thought or an idea turned into words. I needed some coffee, but I didn't have any money, so I fell asleep. Do you remember how I also said that you can leave out words if you say them more than once? Here, I would leave out the second I, but the third I is just too far away from the first I, so we might have forgotten it by the time we get to it. So I could say, I needed some coffee but didn't have any money, so I fell asleep. To me, that's the most natural way of saying it. Of course, if I wanted to emphasize not having money, I would say, how would I say it? I needed some coffee but fell asleep because I didn't have any money. There is another way I could express the first part of that sentence. I would have got some coffee, but fell asleep because I didn't have any money. To me, we have now perfected the sentence. I am starting by saying, I have this experience. By starting in the present perfect, I have the experience of not having coffee, and then I go on to explain what happened in the past to give me that experience and the result of that experience. Can we make one sentence out of this? I wanted to play football. It started raining. I played board games instead. I would have played football, but it started raining, so I played board games instead. There is one more little change we can make to that sentence, but you would probably only make this change if you were saying it casually, not if you're writing it, and definitely not in a very formal situation. That change is to use a contraction. I'd have played football, but it started raining, so I played board games instead. Practice saying these with me. I'd have, I'd have, you'd have, you'd have, he'd have, he'd have, she'd have, she'd have, it'd have, it'd have, we'd have, we'd have, they'd have, they'd have. Just practice saying them for a while. Now let's think about things which might cause frustrations in the future. We're going to start using future tense verbs now. When you're thinking about things in the future, it's wise to imagine what could cause a frustration, what could be frustrating, what could make you frustrated. It's good to think about those things and have a plan B. A plan B just means what you would do if you can't get what you really want, so that you instead get the next best thing. They want to play football. It may rain. Their plan B is playing board games. How might we put that all in one sentence? They want to play football, but, comma, if it rains, comma, they'll play board games instead. Of course, if we want to emphasize playing football, or rather that they want to play football, we can say, if it rains, they'll play board games, but they want to play football. We can also emphasize the condition, that is, it may rain. They want to play football, but they'll play board games instead if it rains. Each of these sentences says the same thing, but emphasizes a different thing. A full stop is exactly what it says. It's not a dot at the end of a sentence. It's when you stop talking fully. The reason you stop talking is to let the very last bit you said sink into the person's heart and mind when they're listening, to let it have an effect on them, to let them think about something or feel something. That's why we say you emphasize something by putting it last in the sentence. Here are two pictures of myself. The first is me during this class now. I want to drive home from the class. I'm happy thinking about driving home. It's possible that my car will break down, but I've been wise to think of a plan B, which is walking home. I don't want to do that, but it's the next best thing. The second picture is later, after this class has finished. The frustration happened. My car did break down and I'm using my plan B, walking home. So think carefully and try to say those one sentence for each of them. I want to drive home, but, comma, if my car breaks down, comma, I'll walk home. That's what I'm thinking now. Later, I will say, I'd have driven home, but my car broke down, so I walked home. Notice I want to drive home, break down, walk home, all present simple. Later on, I'll say, I'd have driven home, that's present perfect, but my car broke down, so I walked home. 2 past tense verbs. Of course, if I haven't got home yet, I could of course have said, so I'm walking home, meaning I'm still on my way. I'm walking right now. Both of those sentences could have ended with the word instead. I want to drive home, but if my car breaks down, I'll walk home instead. I'd have driven home, but my car broke down, so I walked home instead. Make up some sentences, either about things that frustrate you, about frustrations, about things that make you frustrated, using a couple of conjunctions, and put them in the comments. Or make up some sentences which talk about plan Bs. And don't forget the right conjunctions, the if, and separate the if part of the sentence with commas. If you have any questions, anything you don't understand about this, ask me any questions in the comments. I'll see you again soon on Australian English with Jason. Hopefully by then I will have thought of an idea for a lesson. Until then, hooroo.
G'day, g'day, and how you going? What do you know? We'll strike a light. G'day, g'day, and how you going?